I'm going to talk to you today about female plant medicine, specifically a recipe I found that works for me for a very common problem, probably not very well understood and known maybe to many females, which is yeast infection, and a common household vegetable or root product, is a very potent recipe for the healing and total relief of symptoms for this common problem for females, which is a yeast infection. So I got this recipe from a girlfriend of mine about 5 years ago, and I don't recall if I've tried it before, but it worked for them very well, and I remembered it yesterday after a couple of days of discomfort. So now I will talk to you about my experience with it, and what it is garlic. So garlic is all you need to cure yourself from a yeast infection. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor, I am not a professional with a health certificate in herbal medicine sciences or something like that, but this is a potent home remedy, so only try it if that kind of thing works for you, and you have an interest in it and passion for it. So this is about garlic. Garlic for the use of healing your yeast infection. Okay, just gonna take a sip. Okay, so here's what you do. You get your garlic, you take a clove, and for my experience, I took the smallest clove that I could find. I would suggest you try it with the smallest you can find if it's your first time doing this, because that's the smart way to take any new compound, put any new substance into your body, whether it comes from the earth or your local drug dealer or your friend's friend. You want to take the smallest amount necessary if you are smart about it. And no, you don't need to go through these trials and loopholes, extraneous loopholes, and work your way up to being a knowledgeable drug user. You can use it from the start with a smart mindset, and you're better off not using it until you're ready to approach it with a degree of reverence, a degree of patience and knowledge through that. Alright, so basically you will need a clove of garlic. You probably have some garlic around. Take the smallest piece that you have, a whole clove. I use a very slim one. I happen to find a very slim little one. And you just peel the garlic clove and you insert it into your vagina. And you want to push it all the way in so that it's holding it on its own, and you should experience immediate comfort and immediate relief of your symptoms. Any kind of pains and itchiness, light pains, itchiness, just that really kind of uncomfortable feeling that you've probably been carrying around for a couple of days, or just trying to get your mind off of, but nothing's been working. So you just insert it in, and you should feel immediate relief, but I advise that you keep it in for 30 minutes minimum, and you will likely feel a total release of the discomfort, any of the weird pains or itches, really, just uncomfortable, kind of nasty feeling. Probably felt a little bit swollen, like it was a little red or something. Just doesn't feel good to touch. So 30 minutes, you leave the garlic clove in there, and your body will likely tell you when it's good to take it out. But I would say it takes about 30 minutes, and maybe it'll take longer. I used a very small clove. I used a very small clove. Look at my notes. So yes, it should take about 30 minutes. Leave it in, and take it out. But you will feel it right away. That it will help. So I'm going to tell about my experience since I wrote it. I wrote the notes. Took it about 9 p.m. 2 days I've been feeling this. So at first I kind of put it in the part like that's near the before the G spot, I think. And it was still kind of poking out. It felt good. I felt it feel better, but then I knew I need to push it in all the way so that I could go about, just relax for a little bit. And then I did that, and it felt totally complete, a lot better. So the relief stayed with me. I felt immediate relieved, and the relief stayed with me, and I felt comfortable for the first time in 2 days. I then went and sat on the porch for a bit, since it was a cool summer's eve. And after a bit of time, I noticed a slight buzzing around my temples, similar to the oncoming of a psychedelic high. So this is something I wanted to talk about too, as someone who's very interested in the relationship between females and female plant remedies and their uses as psychedelic substances. And this is an offshoot from what I was originally talking about, which is a cure for yeast infection. But this is related as far as I'm concerned, since medicine healing techniques, they often come with this idea that you are releasing something that was blocked inside you, something was stored inside you. So it's like a channel burst, a dam burst, and blockage is released. And that's why we have all these images of beings flying out of bodies, beings that out there, whether they're terrifying or beautiful or both, there's something that leaves. It's like the illness can take a body and leave. But so I wanted to take this further and talk about this kind of feeling. So after about maybe 5 minutes sitting there, whatever, less than 5 minutes, I noticed that I kind of felt like this buzzing around my temples, and it wasn't unpleasant. It wasn't something, that I felt was bad or threatening. It felt good. It felt pleasant, It felt like a buzz, a nice terpenated buzz, just from the garlic. And immediately I thought of an Arrowwood report. I thought of a report I had read about some women who had experimented with, real psychedelic substances, more classical psychedelic substances, and more widely documented, like LSD and whatnot, and they had inserted that into their vaginas as an experiment and reported, positive feelings and whatnot, and that it worked for them. It was a study, but I just thought of that. And anyway, I just went with it, and I was like, okay, this is good. It feels good. My body feels good. It feels like all the sickness that was locked up in this tension and discomfort that I'm holding everything tight for the past couple of days, a little more cranky. It was kind of like it was all simmering out, and I was like, I was starting to feel kind of energized a little bit, and like instead of feeling tired, so I went back to what I was working on, and I started putting more work into it. I started doing some work, and I let myself kind of give into this kind of cerebral buzz that I had going on from this release of energy blockage. And the plant did tell me something. The plant told me something about my health right now and guided me in that. So there was this little revelation, little moment where I reviewed my eating habits lately, and I realized I've been eating a lot of junk food, and that's kind of been contributing to my ill health and various things that make me more ill and run down in general day-to-day life. So that was a nice little insightful kind of 15 minutes. So the whole kind of buzzy, headache-y feeling kind of, topped after about 15 minutes, kind of like how it does. Just went away after about 15 minutes. I reached a peak, came over, and the feeling went away. I felt relief, kind of like you feel after you orgasm. Your body has been flushed out. You would feel okay to go maybe eat something or rest or something, do something for your body, which is really important to anyone out there struggling right now. Go eat something or something. Go take a nap, go eat something, go take a shower. Anyway. So yeah, after about 15 minutes of riding that, kind of popped, and the garlic was like, yo, I am good. You can take me out. I've done my duty. There's really not much need for me to stay in your body anymore. So now it's been about 30 minutes. So I went and I took it out, and I put on some pajamas and just sat around, and it was a nice night. So I felt much relieved. Moral of the story, it was an overwhelmingly positive experience. It was physically healing, it cured my symptoms, and it cured them immediately upon insertion. And the feelings lasted. Today is the next day. I woke up and showered. My hair's still wet, as you can see. And I feel great. I let myself sleep in a little bit just to take some time to rest. So that's about it. Once again, the whole thing is simply take a small clove of garlic and put it into your vagina, is the deeps, past the little hook part. I think that's what it is. I don't know my vaginal anatomy words. And if you think I'm weird because I say the word vagina on screen without laughing, you've probably only seen the vagina monologues, and that's about as far as we got into feminism or something. So overall, very good. Works. I would suggest it. Potent health remedy. Leave it in for 30 minutes. Take it out. Do your thing. Wear clean underwear. And don't blame yourself. Relax. I just remembered one more thing. It is kind of interesting. You will kind of smell the garlic in your nose after you put it in. Like it'll automatically go because the tissues are connected like that. And interestingly, that what you're smelling, you might change too towards the end of the 30 minutes. You might kind of get a fresh kind of scent in your nose too. But I don't know how much of that is psychosomatic, the second part. But I was not the only one who reported the first smell upon immediate insertion. So yeah, it works because it's blood, and blood travels and carries all the good stuff. Yeah, so keep it real, homie.